Hey guys, welcome back to the second episode of the Devbest exclusive series where I show you guys how to create your own Habbo Retro. In today's episode we're going to be creating a Habbo Retro once again by using IIS and a VPS to get the Habbo Retro online and active for other users to join and sign up. So to begin, I'm going to be going over the following things. First, we're going to start off with looking at the different VPS hosts, then we'll be moving on to the domains, and then we'll be moving on to the actual VPS and setting it all up. I stand with beginning with the domain simply because if you set up the domain first, you won't have to worry about the update times, because during that time you'll be updating your VPS to be compatible with IIS and creating your retro within it. So to begin, we're going to be heading straight into the hosts, or my two recommended. I would recommend simply just using Host Saver. If you go into their standard VPSs, they have these available. Currently the majority of them are out of stock. If I were you, I'd just go with getting the 6GB one and then scaling down later on if you don't have as many people as you thought you would. For the minimum standard, which is a really commonly asked question, the minimum should be a 2GB one if you're having a small hotel of maybe 10 users. And obviously as you scale up, you need to as you grow, you will need to scale up, and both these hosts, which I'm going to show you, offer the ability to scale up and down. So Host Saver, these will be in the description as well if you're interested in using any of these. The second one is VPS Server, and I really like these ones simply because of the trials they offer. So if you want today and you don't want to actually go straight up and make a payment and see if you can get this to work, see if you're happy with it, you can go and try one of these 7 days trials, which is what I'm using right now. Simply you'll have to give your credit card information. They'll charge you like 1 cent, and then after you'll be able to use any of these. It's great. It's really handy for something like this where I'm making a tutorial. So the VPS I will be using is the 2GB one for this specific tutorial. I would recommend using them if you just want to test this out for yourself. Just pay essentially a cent. Right. So once you've got your VPS, log into your VPS panel and just leave it there. Open a new tab. Now you need a domain name. So you can pay for one. They're like around $10 a month, $10 a year rather. And so you can go to somewhere like namecheap.com and you can buy one. If you're interested in getting a free one, there are free options available. So if we just do Habbo Retro Hotel, just for the sake of the tutorial, and you come through here, you can choose any one of these. Get it now. Just choose it. Check out. Boom. So for this, change this to 12 months. For the domain, put it to Google. The only reason, just put google.com. We can't use DNS right now because we're going to be setting up Cloudflare later. So just for now, put google.com and just register it. It'll ask you for stuff like your address, your name. Just put that down. You can put fake stuff down. You don't have to put your extra address. Once that's done, there'll be a link to go to your client area. Go into that, click management, go through here, and then what you'll be able to do is if you click here, go into your name servers, and you should be able to go into your name servers, and then you'll be able to add the ones that we get. Right now you won't have anything, so just leave that as it is. Go to cloudflare.com. You need to sign up an account with them. It's completely free. Just make an account, click add site at the top there. The domain name you've registered, just copy it and paste it in. Choose the free plan, and then they'll give you 2 name servers. So obviously just go into here and go into the name servers and just copy and paste the name servers they give you, and then just click update. Then there should be a button that says recheck on the home page here. Just click recheck. It'll recheck your name servers. It'll need like at least half an hour, but you can still have access to this. Just click DNS. These will be empty, or if there's anything there, just click the X's. For the first one, you'll need to add an A record. For the name, you're going to put @ and then for this, you'll need to put your VPS server IP. For example, my one's right here, so obviously just get it from your host page. Paste it in, click add record. Once that's added, you'll need to add a CNAME, name it www, and then just do @. So basically the other way around, but in this instance the @ will be over here. Add record, so that'll completely set that all up. So it's literally a record and @ and then your IP there, and then just www for the CNAME. So once that's all set up, just leave that be. It will need some time to update. It should look something like this once you're done with it. Just leave it as it is. It will need some time to update. That's out the way. Now we need to connect your VPS. So on the VPS page, you should be able to have an option where they'll give you your username, your password, and your IP. So search remote desktop connection. This will work on Windows PCs, I believe. I don't know how it would work for other PCs, but I'm sure there's alternatives. via the OSs rather. So just click enter, put in your IP here, click connect. It'll ask you for the username and password. Just get it from the VPS post, and they'll give you all of that. Right, so once you're in, you'll be provided this. This is the vpsserver.com screen. It's VPS from them. So once you're in, you'll get this screen. You won't have any of this. So the first thing I like to do is instantly just go and install Chrome. If you click here, click Internet Explorer, go ahead and install Chrome on this. Now, you'll need to go to the link in the description. You'll need to install everything in the link in the description. If you've done Tutorial 1, you'll only need to install NaviCap and Notepad and 7-zip. Once again, 7-zip, it's my own personal preference. Nevertheless, you need to get, so once again, NaviCap, you'll need Notepad++, and you'll need 7-zip. So all of that will be in the link in the description. 7-zip, just Google 7-zip and you'll be able to download it that way. And yeah, once that's done, if you've watched Tutorial 1, you already have a HT docs, you could just copy that over. It will take some time. So what I've done is I've just literally, I'll show you guys from scratch once again how to set this all up. So I just went, go link in the description if you haven't watched Tutorial 1. Just go download Brain CMS plus MU. Make sure if you are coming straight from Tutorial 1 and you've already have your HT docs and stuff, make sure you copy over the original database from your emulator, because this is really needed over here, the original database. And make sure you also copy over from the download in the description the Brain CMS 1.9.1 SQL. So those are the two crucial parts. So yeah, once you've downloaded, so once again, if you haven't watched Tutorial 1, I highly recommend you watch it. So it's basically repeating the steps we've done there, but this time we're doing it on the VPS. However, we're not going to install XAMPP this time because we're going to be using IIS. Alright, so now once that's out of the way, we're going to want to go to Server Manager because we need to set up IIS, which is what's going to essentially be the backbone of our retro. So search Server Manager, click it right here. It will be in the bottom there if you're using the two hosts which I showed you. However, I'm not sure for other hosts, so just search it up. If you don't have Server Manager, then you don't have the correct VPS. So you're going to have to rebuild a different model which should be provided by the VPS server. But yeah, as I said, I'd highly recommend a Windows Server 2012 R2. It's what I use. It's really convenient for this specific tutorial. Alright, so you should have these two. They might go red, don't worry about that, that's not important. So where you want to go is go to Manage, Add Role and Features. Oh, if it does say this, then what you need to do is just wait for this to finish loading and wait for these. They're probably going to go red. Don't worry about it too much. It's not a concern right now. Shouldn't be a concern at all, actually. Once mine's, oh, there we go. I was about to cut the video. There we go. So now you want to go into Manage. Oops. Add Roles and Features. Next, select your VPS and then click next. Right, so now you want to go right down and you want to click Web Server IIS. This is very important. So just click Add Features. Click Next. Right, make sure these two are both ticked. Next. Right, leave everything as it is. Go right down to the bottom. And then just make sure this is ticked. And then click Add Features. And then click Next. Do not click this, you won't need to restart. Ignore that. Works perfectly fine without a restart. And then click Install. Right. So this might take a while depending on how good the VPS you chose is. As I said, more RAM and more CPU is just going to be a better speeds for you. But I'll cut the video here and I'll come back once it's done. Right, I'm back and the installation is done. It took much longer than I thought it would, but that's the consequences of using a 2GB RAM VPS. But nevertheless, it's done. So once that's done, just close that. You can close Server Manager now. You're completely done with that. Now, make sure you install Web Platform Installer from the link in the description. Crucial for this. So we're just going to open up that, run it. It's going to have my VPS like that. Right, accept, install. Now I'll leave it installing and then I'll be back once it's done. Right, once again, the VPS has Microsoft Web Platform has done installing on the VPS, so just click finish. Right, now we're going to want to run it, so go click over here, search Microsoft Web. There we go. The search is really slow on this VPS and it's really irritating, but this should be the last time we ever need to use it, which is great. I don't know why I feel like I'm not recording. So I am. Okay, good. Right, so give it a second to load up. Obviously, because I'm recording, it's also much slower. There we go. Right, so from Web Platform Installer 5.0, we need 4 things, which I'm going to try to remember off memory here, if it wants to load. Here we go. So you want to search first URL rewrite. Should be 2.1. Here we go. Click add, and now you want to search IIS recommended. Search config. Here we go. Recommended server configuration for here we go. It's this one. IIS recommended configuration. I cannot spell recommended for my life right now. So just click add to that. Right, now we'll need MySQL 5.5. The Windows variant. There we go. Click add. And we will need finally PHP 5.6. And it's this one, the 5.6.31. So click add and it'll add the drivers and the cache extension. So that should be 7 items to be installed. So just click install here. So now it's going to ask you for your password. We're going to give our password hotel. I'd recommend you do the same password as me. Say my password, okay. And then just do continue. Here we go. This is everything that's going to be installing. 153 megabytes. Just click I accept. Here we go. Now this is going to install. This is going to take some time. So once again, I'm just going to pause the recording and then I'll be back once it's done. Right. So the installation is done. Now when you get this, you'll get the screen, the finished screen. It will say PHP Manager for IIS has not successfully installed. That's normal, don't worry, we won't need this. Just ignore it. And yeah, everything else should, as long as everything else is installed, then you've done everything correctly. So click finish. You can close Web Platform Installer now. Now to test if everything's worked, open up Google Chrome. Wait a very long time. But here we go. And then just search localhost. You should notice that we get taken to an IIS screen. And there we go. Now this may be a newer IIS screen. You may not recognize it because all of the other tutorials which cover this are really outdated and show a really old method of doing it. So if you've got this screen, you know you've done it correctly. There you got localhost working without XAMPP, which may be a surprise to some of you. It's that easy. It took some time to install, fair enough, but other than that, it's just much more efficient this way. Right, now you want to copy your files, which should consist of your brain CMS, and then your SWF files, which I've renamed game here if you watch tutorial 2. Now if you watch tutorial 1, then you should understand why we named it game. Sorry, it's like 1 AM right now, so I'm extremely tired. Right, so you want to go into INET pub, www root. You want to delete everything, and that's what you see. Alright, and then you just want to put that in there. Whoop, step into it. Now what you may notice with VPSs is you get this moving item from download still, but if you refresh, you notice that it's copied everything, and if you go back to your download, you notice it's gone. If that happens a lot. Just click the X. It'll cancel it, but nothing will go back. There we go. Right, so go back to here. Now we need to get everything in here in the www root folder. So how do we do that? Select it all, just like before. Just literally move it back a slot. Let everything move. Try again. Let's close it. It's copied everything over. This is the struggles of using VPSs. Literally nothing wants to work with you. Why is it opening? Oh, it's still trying to copy that over. Right, so this shouldn't happen for you, but obviously I'm not lucky today at all. And this just doesn't want to copy over. It's because of this. Right, so I'll be back. What I'll do is I'll just quickly reboot my VPS, so I can get rid of that. This shouldn't happen to you, it's just I'm extremely unlucky right now, so just give me a second. Okay, I'm back once again. I rebooted my VPS and I was able to move the game folder. Right, so you should have your www root looking like this. Delete the htdocs file now, we won't need that anymore. Right, now we need to set up the hotel once again, but for the VPS this time. This time around you want to go to NaviCap, we're going to run it. And it's going to open, hopefully. I haven't tested this yet, so I've literally installed it and ran the patch, so I've not a clue if I've got it working, so let's hope it does. Close. Right, MySQL, leave all of this. Oh, remember we set the password as hotel, so remember that. Connection name hotel, test connection, connection successful, great. So if you've set up your IIS correctly, that will be a connection successful. Right, let's click OK. Double click it. Now we're going to want to create a new database. So a new database. We're going to name it hotel. OK. Double click it. Now we're going to import everything here, so we don't have to worry about it later. So you want to go to tables, execute SQL file. Now if you use the download links, you should be able to navigate and find the correct file. So I'll show you. So I'll show you real quick. So first we need to download. Make sure you get your emulator downloaded, and if you open that up, go into release 2, you should see a SQLs. Just run original database and start. It's gonna take some time, so just give it the time it needs. If you watched my tutorial 1, you'd know how to do all of this already. So here we go. If we have, as you see here, we had some errors here. Your best solution for them is to try and disable your SQL strict mode. So I'll show you how to completely disable it, so you won't have to worry about keep running this query. So if we close this, if you refresh, by the way, you should see that you have got those, but that's not everything. So if you minimize that, you go into local disk, you go into program files. Here we go, MySQL server 5.5, and then I believe it's I may be incorrect, let me just quickly check. Yeah, my.ini, this is the one. So you want to scroll down here. There, and you see how it says SQL mode, strict, trans, tables, no auto. Remove everything in there. There we go, and just leave it like that, and then save that. This will help you with a whole lot of issues later on, as you won't have to worry about it. Then reboot your server. So just click on here, and then right click, restart, and just click continue. you'll lose connection to your VPS. I'll be back once I've done rebooting. Obviously, just go back to your once you're done with you won't give the reboot around 5 minutes, and then try remote desktop connection again. And then if it doesn't work, then just keep waiting until it reboots. But 5 minutes should be more than enough. I'll be back once I've got my VPS rebooted. Right, so once again I'm back. I've rebooted my what do you call it? VPS. And now once again I'm just going to quickly show you guys if we run that file now, the same one you tried to run earlier, and we start it. You should see that this time, however, we should get through with no errors at all. And this also will just help you later on. There we go, we've got no errors at all. If you just refresh now, you'll see we have got much more tables now. Right, now once again we're just going to execute SQL files, and we're going to run the behavior changes this time. Just click start. Okay, and finally execute SQL file, and we're going to want to go to the root folder, so just INPub www root brain SQL, and then just run this one, brain cms 1.9.1.sql start. Okay, there we go. So that's everything done for the database. I'm going to leave it minimized here. Right, now you want to navigate to your C drive once again in the pub www root. You can delete brain SQL if you want. I'll just leave it in there for now. You want to go to system, and then you want to right click the config file, and you'll be led with this. Right, so now if you do attempt to enter your site, hopefully your name servers have updated. I've already tried it. You'll be led with this brain CMS. I was unable to connect to the provider. Don't worry about this line, all of this will be fixed once we disconfigure this, which I'll go through once now. I won't go into detail. If you want the detailed explanation of what everything does, go to tutorial 1, which can be found on devbest.com and the Habbo tutorial section. Right, so our host is going to be localhost for this specific one. Don't worry, our hotel will still be live. It's just the database is on localhost. The password is hotel if you copied the same link that I done earlier. Now the MU host, you want to put the address of your VPS server here. 9.191. Oopsie. If we just correct that, leave the port as it is. Now, here's where we need to change stuff. You want to put the URL that you got. If I remember correctly, I done Habbo Retro Hotel.cf. Make sure if you have, leave it as HTTP. Place all. Habbo Retro Hotel.cg, no, .cf, my bad. Place all. Right, and obviously now you can scroll down. You can change your hotel name. All of that's here. You could change the alert, change to user. You could put your username there, or you could say welcome to the opening of, blah blah blah, all of that. You can. I'll quickly go over this real quick. So obviously you can add more and more VIP ranks if you want. You could change the starting mottos, the credits, the ducats, timers, all of that. It's all explained in tutorial 1. And I believe that's everything for this specific one. So just drop a save on it. I've pretty much configured most of this already for you guys, so you won't have to worry too much about it. You can close that completely now. Now, if we do try and reload, you should notice that, ta-da, it loads now. So this is already live. People can view your website now, and it should work for them. But we're not done yet. That's the key thing. We need to go into game data. Right, now the first thing we'll need to do is edit the external variables. I've done all of this in tutorial 1. I'm just going to repeat it. Make sure this time, however, we're not doing localhost, we're doing your domain name, so keep that in mind. I'm not going to explain what I'm doing, I'm just going to quickly go through it, so watch tutorial 1 if you want the explanation. Once again, just replace all, close, scroll right to the bottom, do the same for this. Make sure you do HTTP, by the way. I can't live with this VPS, I swear to God. Right, select them right up to here, Control H, just add HTTP. Make sure there's no S at the end, key, crucial. And then /game. Replace all. Habbo Retro Hotel.cf. /game data, product data. Okay. Now you just wanna Oops, I want to select. I'm terribly failing here, but .txt, replace all. There we go. And then obviously, if you'd like, you can just compare the two. So obviously your product data, oops. So as you can see, your product data is a txt, so just leave that as. External flash text is a txt, leave that as. That's a txt, don't know that off by heart. That's the correct client model. Here, there's the first thing we need to change. Get rid of that. Make that .xml. External variables fine. Figure data is a XML as well. Okay, there we go. So just change that. We'll save that. So just make sure yours look like mine, but with your domain instead. We'll save that. Great, that's done. Now we're going to override, and we're going to edit the override variables. This is slightly easier, I believe, if I'm correct. Once again, just select this part from here on. Control H. We're going to change that to Habbo Retro Hotel.cf. I've got a feeling that's not my domain. I don't know why. Replace all. Let me give me a second. Habbo Retro Hotel. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I made this in a rush, so I have no idea what the domain actually is. Right. So again, you just want to Habbo Retro Hotel. You want to go to these extra bits at the end and just replace them with txt. .txt. Once again. .txt. You can't do what we done earlier, unfortunately, because the extensions are different this time. Product data. .txt. And just obviously, once again, if you're unsure, you could just compare them over here. Make sure you got the right location. And finally, we're going to do Fernie data.xml, and we're just going to save that. And that should be everything done, if I'm correct. Right, so if we close that, obviously if there's any mistakes, we can always go back and just check. Before we run our emulator, we'll need to go into Game, Gordon, Production 2017. Right, so we want to search FigureMap. This fixes the... If you don't do this, what will happen is your character will not have any clothes. You'll just be grey. And the clothing store won't function either. So make sure you do this. You want to copy what you just copied now into your game data folder. So right like that. With that should be everything done for that. Now we're going to run the emulator, and I'm going to show you what happens. Now there's still a step we haven't done. Now with the emulator, you won't need to change anything at all. It's already so leave it as localhost. That should just be fine. Oh, actually no, ignore me. You need to update the database. Oops, just close that. My bad. You just want to right click this, edit of Notepad++. Here we go. Localhost is fine. Root. Okay. Password's hotel. Right. So just save that. Leave the rest as it is. It should be fine. And if we run it this time. It connects to the database. Loads everything. Perfect. That took really long for some reason, but it shouldn't take that long for you. Oh, we need to register, my bad. So obviously Chris, and then we'll just copy some random email. I don't know what I'm doing. Just copy that for the email. Set a password. And register. There we go. So as you see, everything is functional perfectly. what I'm going to do right now actually is I'll quickly show you guys how to make yourself owner. If you go into your database, which just crashed, here we go. If you go into your database, users, right, now change your rank to 9. There we go. Just change that to 9 and go back to your table. Right, there we go. So if you go into management now, you should see that you're not at the top because I didn't save it. My bad. You want to click the little tick here, and then if you refresh once again, you should notice you're at the top now. Perfect. Now, let's try visiting the client and see what happens. Now there should be an error because there's a step I missed out deliberately, which is a really common one which people don't do. Alright, so click allow, allow. Now you're going to come up to the stage, you're going to load up to 76, and you'll be in an everlasting loop at 76. Let me just zoom out a bit. My DPI is a bit messed up on this laptop. Right. So what's wrong? Why am I stuck at 76? My emulator isn't erroring. Everything just looks fine to me visually. If I go to my developer console, developer tools, stretch that out a bit. Everything's empty. I don't know what's wrong. The issue is you haven't set up your firewall, so your ports. Yeah. So let's port this up. So you want to search firewall with make sure you get the with advanced security one. Right, we're going to be opening up some ports. Inbound rules. We're going to do import policy. New rule. You have those. Just click new rule, and a tab should open. Port. Next. Specific ports. Now we're going to do 3306, 30,000, and 30,001. There we go. So you want to open up these ports, and then click next. Allow the connection. Next. And let's call it retro. And then finish. Reboot this. Shut down. Right. Now let's try that again. Right, so run your emulator. This VPS is very slow. I've been doing a lot of messing around in it, so I've messed it up a bit, but yours shouldn't be this slow at all. There we go. Right, just reload this. And let's see if we can get in this time around with our ports open. There we go, you saw we hit 100% and bang. It has worked. We are in, we've set up our hotel, it's online. You can see, it's literally, this is on my own personal PC I'm on, so it'll work on anyone's PC. This specific link won't work for every one of you guys. The reason it won't work for you guys is because this is my trial is literally about to end tomorrow. I had to make this so late, it's literally right now, it's 2 AM. But bang, we've got it working nevertheless. Show you the catalog works, everything's functional. The icons give it some time to load. Everything works. There are a few glitches and such, and I'll show you guys how to fix these glitches in the future episodes. Like I said, this is an ongoing series. There you go, everything works perfectly. The clothing works. Like I said, be sure to follow the series as I'm going to be showing. I believe the next thing I'll be doing is probably showing you how to add new furniture to your retro. So I look forward to that. We'll be adding new clothing, we'll be adding loads of stuff in future episodes, so you'll be able to get a really customized retro for you guys. Once again, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time you spent here. It's a really long tutorial. It's stretched out to 34 minutes, but if you've got here to the end, I'm really and you got it to work, fabulous. Once again, if you don't, go devbest.com. Literally, you should be on the form if you're watching this video. So obviously, go to tutorials and then just post a comment. And obviously, this is the episode 1, but go to episode 2, post a comment, and I'll give you the help that you need. Thank you for your time. I hope your retros will work. Thanks for watching. Bye. See you at episode 2, episode 3.